I'm just thankful I got to walk this walk. I'm forever in debt to the fans. Just grateful, man, that I got to live this life and go on this journey.
You know, a lot of times when I start these videos, I'm focused on hooking you into the larger narrative of the event, the implications for future events, where things lie in the divisions affected by the outcomes, but today, I'm gonna shoot from the hip and speak on what I really think mattered last night, because that's what Dustin Poirier would do, damn it. Perfect moments in sports and in life are so incredibly rare. You can't produce them artificially. You could do absolutely everything right in order to make one happen, and there's still no guarantee that it will. But when they do happen, you know it because you can feel it. And Dustin Poirier had the picture-perfect ending to his career last night. It was absolutely everything that it needed to be. Someone might look at the outcome, though, and say, well, that's not perfect at all. Dustin lost. A picture-perfect ending would be one last victory before riding off into the Louisiana sunset. But that's not who Dustin Poirier is, and that's not what he needed to end his career perfectly. Because victories and losses have never defined Dustin Poirier. I'm not sure whose idea it was to play My Way by Frank Sinatra at the end of the broadcast as Dustin laid the gloves down and walked away for the last time, but it was the perfect theme for the moment because that is exactly what he did. Dustin didn't play the game the same way everybody else did. In a world and a sport where everything is flash and over the top, Dustin Poirier remained true to who he was from moment one, and that never faltered. No matter how big the events got or how loud his opponents were, every single day Dustin was still that scrappy kid from Lafayette, full of fire, who was going to leave absolutely everything he had in the cage. That is who Dustin Poirier is. His legacy is not what he accomplished, it's how he accomplished it.
Camera roll, I gotta be cool.
And that is what makes last night so special. The bout was everything that Poirier has embodied for the last decade and a half in the UFC. He went out there one last time and gave every single bit of himself to that fight. And that is what defines him. That is his legacy. That is why it was perfect. The commentary team called Dustin the everyman, and it is a very fitting label. We use it a lot of times to describe massively successful people who still have the values of a normal person, who grew up without everything handed to them and never lost that grounding, who had to scrap and claw for every single thing they got. I think Izzy said it in the video package. He essentially said that Dustin was a reminder that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And in that way, last night was perfect too, because Dustin, the everyman, got to have his moment in the sun. The card was built around him. They were fighting in his home, in front of his people, against the grandest possible opponent he could have in his final fight. There are regular people all over the world working themselves to the bone every single day for decades, and they'll never get a big send-off. They'll never have any fanfare for what they did, for what they accomplished. Dustin mentioned fighting for his family, fighting to give them a life. Well, that's what all these regular people are doing too, breaking their backs to provide for the people they love. And there's no thank yous that are coming, no video packages. And in that way, those everymen, they all got to have a moment when someone like Dustin Poirier gets to have a moment. Which isn't to say this is some token for an average fighter that just so happened to be liked or something. There's an argument to be made that Dustin Poirier is the greatest fighter to never hold undisputed gold. Whether you agree with that or not, it's certainly a discussion. And while interim titles are often meaningless, one of the very few that has ever felt significant was when he defeated Max Holloway, when he broke that massive streak that Blessed was on, when he defeated someone that was an undisputed champion at the time in another weight class, a feat that no other interim champion has ever done. So sure, he can never say he was an undisputed champion, but there's no way to look at all that he did accomplish in his career, the champions he defeated, the moments that he had, without giving him an earned status that is rare for even champions at times. Respected. Dustin Poirier is respected by his peers, by the fans, and that is because he really did pay in full. And I cannot imagine there is anything that he would want more than that. I still remember watching the Fightville documentary back in the day, and Dustin had just debuted that same year in the UFC. If you're unfamiliar with the doc, it's about the fight scene in Lafayette, and Dustin is heavily featured in it. It's a great movie. But I remember after watching it, really hoping that Poirier was able to make something of his UFC run, was able to achieve those dreams, and for the cameras to have captured so well that early part of his journey, and really show that Dustin has been Dustin since day one, and for all of this to culminate 14 years later with the fight we got last night, it's just another way all of this was really perfect, and an incredible journey to get to witness as a fan. So yeah, do I normally talk about main events with such reverence? No, I don't. Sometimes I'm pretty unserious, but as I started with, this was just one of those perfect moments, and just like Dustin, it deserved me just pouring my heart out onto the page instead of making goofy quips or discussing the implications for the division going forward. A little change of pace, if you will. But of course, Poirier's retirement wasn't literally the only thing that happened, even though it was the most significant by a huge margin. I should probably give Max his flowers here too for an awesome fight, but I don't think he would want me to talk about him that much today, besides acknowledging that he's the baddest motherfucker, which I do motherfucking acknowledge. He's got the belt after all. Right, now that we've discussed Dustin, Max, and just how great that send-off was, let's run down some numbers on this UFC New Orleans and hand out some awards, or maybe beads would make more sense. Actually, never mind, that's awarded for something else. Let's just get into this. The UFC's first trip to the Big Easy in a decade saw 14 fights with 3 KO, TKOs, 3 submissions, 8 decisions, for a total cage time of 2 hours, 37 minutes, 39 seconds. Favorites and dogs nearly split on the night, with 8 expected victories and 6 defying the odds. Michael Johnson eats his upsets whole. A decision victory outcome for the Menace was plus 1,200 on some books. Crafty bets paying big time. Speaking of Johnson, that's 3 in a row now for him. The last time he won 3 fights in a row was over a decade ago when he rattled off 4 from 2013 to early 2015, earning Michael R. Back to the Future award. Hey, Patricio Pitbull got his first UFC victory, and that's actually Pitbull's first victory in a promotion that is not Bellator since 2009. Bellator versus Ryzen doesn't count, sorry. To put that in perspective, 2009 is the year Dustin Poirier started his professional career. I got a weird stat for you considering he's been knocked out twice in his career, but that was actually the first time ever that Kevin Holland has been knocked down officially in a fight. So props to D-Rod on that one, and for getting the victory, which marks 3 in a row for him after a 3-fight skid, earning him our Yo-Yo Master award. Man, who saw this coming? Paulo Costa outstruck Red Sun Chase Hooper more than 2-1. Somebody give Borrachina a Master of Sport. He earned it with that performance. And last, but certainly not least, I'm gonna take another page out of Max's book at the end of the night there, skip chatting about Blessed, and throw some career stats on the diamond at you. Dustin ends his career having landed the 5th most significant strikes all time with 1861, the 5th most victories with 22, the 5th most finishes with 15. He ties John Jones, GSP, and Amanda Nunes for the most finishes of current, former, or future champions with 6, and the most fitting stat of all, he's tied all time for the most Fight of the Night bonuses in UFC history with 10. A perfect note to go out on, and that is the autopsy paid in full. Another diamond in this industry is the incredible editor of this video, Max Randall. He gets these videos put together lightning fast post pay-per-view, so you have something to enjoy on your Sunday morning. Please show this man some love on his socials and go check out his awesome YouTube channel. A huge thanks to our channel members as well. You guys are crazy supportive and help a ton week to week. Fight fans, you can become a member too if you hit the join button. There's one low price, there's exclusive content. I'd absolutely recommend it. Like and subscribe because we do these after every pay-per-view. Leave a comment down below with your favorite Dustin Poirier memory, and thanks so much for watching. See you guys on the next one.